It feels so good to be doing this Fire Emblem Awakening. It feels so good to be doing this Fire Emblem Heroes. It feels so good to be doing this Fire Emblem Fates. Wait, which one is this again? Hey, guys, which Fire Emblem is this? Warriors? It feels so good to be doing this Fire Emblem Warriors review. The easiest comparison title for Fire Emblem Warriors is of course Hyrule Warriors, and I have to say that there are plenty of things in Fire Emblem Warriors that are so much better than in Hyrule Warriors, but overall this game doesn't have the same level of content. There just isn't as much meat here. Oh, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of content in this game. You won't find a shortage of things to do, and better yet, even without the Season Pass, you still get content added over the next year or more. There is just less flavor content like there was in Hyrule Warriors, and some of this is a good thing. For example, there aren't big monster battles like in Hyrule Warriors, but I actually find this a relief because if I had to do another map with 8 King Dodongo battles, well, I'd probably just set my Wii U on fire. They were fun and interesting the first few times, and then just tedious and slow as hell the 400th time. And speaking of slow as hell, yes, that segue was entirely correct. While I haven't personally played in split-screen multiplayer, I have seen footage and I heard from a few friends that it performs atrociously. Constant slowdown and just a pretty bad experience. It would have been a really cool inclusion and nothing but a bonus if it performed a little better, but for a game that looks so nice on the Switch, good performance in this mode was probably never on the cards. I am delighted to say that in both handheld and TV mode, playing in single player, the game runs really well. The only consistent slowdown I found was during Elisa's special, and since it's just a short cutscene where you aren't in control of your character, it doesn't really matter in the slightest. Gameplay feels fluid and great. Moving through the fairly large maps and seeing hundreds of enemies at once doesn't seem to be a problem for the little system that could. Fire Emblem Warriors is unlikely to sway your opinion of Musou games, but I feel it's time I mentioned that a lot of first-timers, or just people unfamiliar with the genre, simply don't understand it. You aren't meant to be button mashing and killing all the weak plebs running around. It's more like a real-time strategy played from a more up-close and personal view. You can run right past the big packs of weak soldiers. In fact, that's what you should be doing. You should be constantly heading to the next objective. Sometimes you have to capture forts, sometimes you may need to take down a boss or a stronger enemy. Fire Emblem Warriors, just like other Musou games, is a giant living battlefield. The hundreds of pleb soldiers represent that, and in a way they help you flow from objective to objective. There are, of course, special challenge maps where you are encouraged to kill as many enemies as possible in a set time limit, but it isn't the main mode. If you go into it with an updated mindset, you may just find yourself having as much fun as I do, because as far as Musou games go, Fire Emblem Warriors is excellent, and there is just enough Fire Emblem flavour to make it feel unique. And in a lot of ways, I prefer it to Hyrule Warriors, but here is my biggest criticism: the menu system, specifically for changing gear and upgrading your characters, it's just awful. It feels like I have to jump through hoops every time I want to do something minor like change a character's weapon. There are just too many menus and too many screens to jump through to do anything, and none of it feels intuitive. It could certainly use some refinement. As someone who owns both the Wii U and 3DS version of Hyrule Warriors, and has put several hundred hours into them, I like Fire Emblem Warriors more. As I continued playing Hyrule Warriors, I found myself more frustrated by the Zelda flavour that in the beginning was so charming and wonderful. But the more I play Fire Emblem Warriors, the more I love it. I like the mechanics more, I like the art style more, I like the Fire Emblem flavour more. I like everything about Fire Emblem Warriors except the god-awful systems in place for upgrading and customising your characters. Fingers crossed Team Ninja will give it a going over in one of the many future updates. And my fingers are also crossed in the hope that you'll be kind enough to give me your feedback on this video by hitting the like or dislike button, leaving a comment down below, following me on social media, and if you're feeling extra generous, you could check out my Patreon where I also do monthly giveaways. Other than that, I'll see you all soon.